sisters, in the name of your principles. So it's in the name of Islam that I stand up against a Muslim, because I belong to my principle. And the common ground are the principles, not the fact that you are a Muslim and you have the same belief. Why is it important? It's going to be very important when you speak about citizenship, when you speak about being loyal to your society, because you have to understand that your commitment to your community should be a critical commitment. It shouldn't be a blind one. It is never based on this. This is why it's important for us to understand, we have to understand our principles and why it is based on this faith and spirituality, and we rely on principles. Look at something which is important. You were speaking at the beginning about the prophetic experience. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, when he arrived in Medina, he was talking about the Jews and he was talking about the Christians. And he was saying, while using the same concept, again, ummah, hum min ummatina. These people who are not sharing our beliefs, they are Christians, they are Jews, are part of our community. So it's not a community of only Muslims. It's a community of people accepting the same principles. And they rely by the principles. And this is why he said, again, about the Jews, لَهُمْ مَلَنَا وَعَلَيْهِمْ مَعَلَيْنَا. They have the same rights and they have the same duties as us. Look at this, rights and duties. Exactly principles, but based on what? This is how we build the community. So if I want you to be my fellow brothers, or my fellow brother, or my fellow sister, or my fellow human being in a community which is structured, considering the American society, there is one thing which is important. Your loyalty should be on the principles, not only on the blood. If not, if it's only my brother first, my sister first, and I don't care about you, so it's justice for us, injustice for you, it's okay, it's not going to work. It's a question of consistency. It's a question of consistency for us as for you. So this is where we should be quite clear as Muslims and believers that we are citizens with something which is our loyalty, and what the Islamic teachings are telling us is be loyal with everyone based on your principles. Justice is justice for all, not only for Muslims and not for the others. There is nothing like this. It cannot be like that. So this is the understanding of loyalty, which once again, it's important. And this is why, when you come to this, you understand that this loyalty is based on principles, but it's also based on feeling and cultures. So this is why when you come to the word in Arabic, that it's helping the Muslim to understand what is right, is known as what in Arabic? Il-ma'ruf. That this is right. So il-ma'ruf is based on rules and urf, which has to do with custom, which is to do with the common sense that this is right. So when you belong to a society and you are loyal to the society, we belong to the principles, but we get a sense of the common culture, the common good, the collective psychology. This is why we rely on principles, but we also need to know what are the feelings of the people. We need to understand the memory. We need to get a sense of this history, this tradition that is part of what is this society and what we are indulging in, and meaning by this to which we belong. So we need to understand this as part of also our tradition as Muslims, and this is why we have to respect the rules as something which is not disputable. So when you are an American citizen and you understand that in this society there are two things that are respected: freedom of conscience and freedom of worship. They are part of the Constitution, not disputable, accepted. Now within this society we abide by the law of the society, because we have the passport. No one is telling us you don't pray, you don't fast. We are free to do that. So the principles are protected, and in the name of the the protection of these principles, we abide by the law. We know that we have rights, but we also have duties. And this is what was said by the Prophet, peace be upon him, al-Muslimun inda shurutihim. So when you have principles that tacitly or explicitly you agree, you accept and you abide by the law. You will get no citizenship if we start with this. Citizenship is based on abiding by the law of the country. And this is part of our tradition. And this is where I rely on my principles. And my principles is to respect my contract, is to respect what I accepted from the very beginning. Very important. So when people are saying, your Islam is a risk for your citizenship, you say exactly the opposite. A good understanding of my Islam is strengthening my citizenship. Because I come with the principles. It's rooted in a tradition which is be loyal to your principles and be loyal to your contract and be loyal to the surrounding culture. Because al-ma'ruf is within the limits of what is right. There are things that are part of the collective society, the collective psychology, the culture that are good. So you take them. Everything which is in the culture, you take it as such. So I think here that for us, it's important to understand these very deep teachings coming from our religion, and also to understand in which way you have to be able to understand this within the society. Now, loyalty, it's also coming with this understanding that is coming from our tradition, and it's also the way you deal with non-Muslims. So when you deal with or you rely on principles, but you should be able to deal with non-Muslims. Remember that the Prophet, peace be upon him, once said something which was quite interesting. When I was young, I attended a gathering of the leaders of Mecca. And it was, in fact, they came to an agreement known as Hilf al-Fudul, is the pact of the virtuous. In fact, this pact was very interesting. It was before Islam. So it was not within the Islamic teaching, but before Islam, they gathered to say something which was quite interesting. In the tribal organization, they were only supporting the people who were belonging to the tribe, the respective tribe. If you came to Mecca without being connected to a tribe or a specific tribe, you can be just discriminated or even killed. Ibn Judayn gathered all the people and tell them, we need now a pact. Anyone who is going to be mistreated or discriminated, we are going to protect him in the name of justice, not in the name of our clanic or tribal belonging. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, was there. He was 12, according to the tradition. And he said, if I had, when he was the Prophet, afterward, and he was the messenger, if I had to come back to this pact, Hilf al-Fudul, I will come back to it with no hesitation. Sending two messages to the Muslim. Principles are not only within your tradition. If you find them outside the tradition, you take them. Justice before Islam is justice within Islam. So justice in America is justice for Muslims in America. It's not because it's coming from non-Muslims that it's less justice than justice coming from Muslims. We don't ask the origin of justice, we question the principle of justice. So when it is just, it's just. It was just before Islam, I would come back to this because it's just within Islam. Look at the mindset. Look at the mindset that we have now to teach many Muslims in our societies now. Open your mind. Don't ask what is the origin of the principle, but look at the principle itself to know if it's just, and go ahead with it. So he said that, and more importantly, he was just saying something which is a second message, is that you can take from non-Muslims, that you can learn from the people who are not from your tradition. Before Islam, you can take. When you come here and you read, the American Constitution, there are many things in the American Constitution that are completely in agreement with the Islamic principles. That's yours. That you can take, that you can build out of it. And I can tell you something, that there are many things in Muslim majority countries, in some of the constitutions, that are completely anti-Islamic. It's not a question of majority, it's a question of principle. open the mind, and look at it from loyalty to principles, and not only to blood or to origin or to numbers. Numbers don't matter in many of these issues because it doesn't work. So I would say here that the loyalty to the principles, that we have pacts, that we are contracts, that we respect this, it's part of understanding where we come to citizenship. And it's not, I'm loyal only to my people. I'm loyal to all the people of principles. And I would be on the side of a non-Muslim if he's just or she is just, and standing up against a Muslim if he or she is unjust. This is the way I should be. I belong to my principle. And by the way, if you come back to the American history and everything which was based on this, when you have, for example, American Christians and American Muslims during the Vietnamese War standing up and saying, I'm not going to kill people who are innocent because this is the wrong war. And they do this in the name of their principles. These people are respecting the principles, and they go as far as accepting to be jailed in the name of conscientious objection. These people are relying on principles. But not only Muslims, by the way, Christians did the same. So we have to come here with something which is a better understanding of this loyalty, and that we come to this. And this is where we understand why, as human beings, wherever you are, you should be a witness of these principles. And وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا. We have made you a community of the middle path. We avoid the extremes. In order for you to be what? To bear witness to your message before people. In fact, all what I'm saying here is, as human being, wherever I live, I should be the witness of these principles. So it's not that we have to justify to be an agent bearing these principles, that it means having an attitude, a behavior that is showing to the people around you that this is the way you are behaving in your society. So this is coming from our tradition. And the first thing which is important here is لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ means what? Many people, and I was, the day before yesterday, I was in Chicago at Northwestern University. And someone was speaking about missionary, and he was saying, you want to go for a mission in the West, and we are unable to go to convert the people in Muslim majority countries. And I had a problem with converting people, because it's not of our business. My understanding even of da'wah is to spread around a message and an attitude, but not to convert the people, because it's not of my business to get the heart of the people. This is between God and the people. The only thing that I have to do is to look at myself and to be the best example. And look at the verses that are dealing with this. أُدْعُوا إِلَى سَبِيلِ رَبِّكَ بِالْحِكْمَةِ وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. If you listen to these verses and you try to understand, He's called the people to your message, to the way of God. But how? Through wisdom. And wisdom is, who is going to be wise? You. Your wisdom is the way you are bearing witness that this is your way. Your wisdom. وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي وَبِالْحِكْمَةِ وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ. The best way, you just give them the best message, the way you speak. So it's the way you speak, what you say, and how do you behave. It's all about yourself. It's all about bearing witness. So you are not going to change the heart of the people. Change your own attitude. Bear witness to your message, and this is the way the people can trust you. But many of us and Muslims in our societies now, we go and we preach what Islam is, but when the people are looking at the way we live, there is a gap. Something like a discrepancy and consistency. So we might have to speak less and to show more. And to be real about, I belong to my principles. And this is where the people could get a sense that you belong to the country. Why? Because you are consistent in the way you deal with your principles. You respect the people. You respect them. And when I was mentioning all all these examples coming from the Prophet's life, it's all about respecting the people. He was respecting the Jews.